So there was a very sad situation recently. A little kid fell into a gorilla exhibit at the zoo, and the gorilla kind of dragged him around aggressively. So the zoo shot and killed the gorilla in an attempt to try and save the kid. Now, they say they couldn't use a tranquilizer because it could take up to 10 minutes to work, and, you know, the gorilla was already agitated, and there were all these issues. So they feel like they had no choice. Now, I'm not going to really get into that story in any detail, although there is certainly an interesting discussion to be had about the morality, or lack thereof, of zoos. But Rush Limbaugh decided to weigh in on this, and oh boy is his take golden.
Animals as a side. This woman obviously has not read Genesis, and even if she did, it wouldn't have any impact on her. But human beings travel all over the world to gawk at animals, precisely because they're unusual, they're interesting, some are cute, some are deadly, There's no way human beings are going to not be interested in animals, gawking at them, out on safari, hunting them or what have you. By the way, you know there's another factor in this, Snurdly? A lot of people think that all of us used to be apes. Don't doubt me on this. A lot of people think that all of us used to be gorillas. And they're looking for the missing link out there. The evolution crowd. They think we were originally apes. I've always had, if we were the original apes, then how come Harambe is still an ape, and how come he didn't become one of us? Well, that's why they were looking for the missing link, Mr. Limbaugh. Your question is absurd.
Oh my God, that's the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, that's so sad. Dude, he did the mocking voice for somebody who believes in evolution. Oh, Mr. Limbaugh, I believe in science and whatnot. Dude, he's like condescendingly and arrogantly on team Bible is literally true. You heard him there, he said, you haven't read Genesis. Yeah, but I bet that if these people read Genesis, it wouldn't even have an effect. Yeah, good. Yeah. I mean, what the fuck? Could you imagine somebody... I bet these people haven't read the Quran and the Hadith, and it wouldn't have any effect if they did. Yeah. Wouldn't we say that's right? That person is accurate? You know, these people haven't read the Bhagavad Gita, and even if they did, they probably wouldn't think that that's the origin of the universe. Idiots. How can you be so stupid? Could you imagine Rush Limbaugh, if he lived back in the Roman days or the Greek days, he would just totally believe in the Roman gods and the Greek gods. Like, what do you mean? Of course, my mommy and daddy told me these are true. Obviously they're true. If he was in some tribe in the Amazon and they were worshiping rain gods, he'd be like, yeah, the rain gods, obviously. Who doesn't believe in that? These idiots coming here with their science saying that we came from apes. How stupid is that we came from apes? Okay, Rush, I got some news for you. You have the same number of hair follicles on your body as an ape does, as a gorilla does. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. No, you don't have, and by the way, idiot, it's a common ancestor. He's like, well, why do apes, why do gorillas still exist? Why do monkeys still exist? Because we share a common ancestor. We weren't literally the same. Oh, and dude, like, I never get people like that. Humans are so special. We were created by God. That's what it is. We're so special. God said we're the special ones. We shit. People defecate. Other animals do as well. Like, you don't see the similarities between, gorillas, monkeys, and us. You can't see, doesn't look like, hey, perhaps we had a common ancestor. And he's the missing link. What do you fucking mean the missing link? We have all the evidence we need. Obviously evolution is true. No scientist sitting around going, God, evolution would be true if we could just find that missing link. No. I think it might literally be 100% of scientists have concluded, obviously it's true. We have the fossil record. We can see the progression and we can see what led to us. He's just so massively ignorant, and he's mocking people who believe in science as he's like, well, obviously, we didn't come from apes, and God created us, and Genesis is right. It's one thing to be ignorant and be stupid and be kind of humble about it. Like, hey, look, man, it isn't my thing. I don't know that much about it, okay? But my opinion is X, and that opinion can be wrong, and that's one thing. Because, okay, so you don't know, but you're an open-minded person. Let's figure it out. We'll sit down. Let's discuss this. Let's look at the data. Rush Limbaugh is basically a parody of a human being. He's like, oh, these people don't read Genesis. If they read Genesis, obviously you believe it. You got Adam and Eve. It's not Adam and Steve. Fucking gay people. And what they do is they got the talking snake, and they got the tree, and God tells them there's only two people on earth. This is 6,000 years ago. It's verified. People believe in science. Fucking idiots. Next, you're going to take vaccines and stuff. You know, next you're going to take an antibiotic when you have a disease. Fucking crazy people. Next, when you break your arm, you're going to go to the doctor and they're going to set it. Obviously, you sit there and you pray, oh, God, please fix the problem I have. Oh, we all know the world is 6,000 years old, even though it's 4.54 billion years old. And the universe is 13.9 billion. But no, my book says 6,000. And we know that Noah got every animal on the ark. The mosquitoes and the ferrets and the tigers and the polar bears. The climate doesn't work the same for all of them, but he brought a freezer or something. He looks down on you for believing in science. And he's like, well, obviously, my religion is right. Rush Limbaugh, he really strikes me like he wishes he was living in the Christian version of Saudi Arabia. Just this super old school, draconian, dumb, biblical law-based society. And he's so profoundly unreflective and convinced of his nonsense that he really has become a caricature of a human being. And by the way, perhaps unsurprisingly, he might be done soon. There was a story the other day about how his contract is up this year, and he took a massive hit from all the advertisers, from the Sandra Fluke incident when he called this poor girl a slut for no goddamn reason other than the fact that she takes the pill or whatever. Advertisers fled his show. So now it's time to renegotiate his contract. He has no leverage. What's he going to say? Bring me back on. Nobody wants to fucking advertise with me. That's not a good argument. So he might stay on, but he's going to take a massive pay cut if he stays on. And already nobody's listening to him. In the station in New York, he had literally dead air and public service announcements during his breaks before he got kicked off of his main station in New York and went to a lower station. In some markets, college radio stations are beating him. College radio stations, for those of you who don't know, have a signal that goes out like 23 feet. Nobody listens to that shit. But even fewer people listen to Rush Limbaugh. So with segments like this, you begin to see why that is. He simply hung around too long, and he's way past his time. Perhaps his show, would have been most popular in about 1956.